Hello, welcome back. All right, so today, not a ton to go over. I will double check everything tomorrow afternoon. I have a bunch of things in the morning. I'll get to your projects tomorrow afternoon. Don't worry. You got stuff to work on, so you don't have to worry. Um, Everything's due in a week. Let's talk first about the posters. I haven't seen everybody's posters and flyer designs yet. But I want to throw this out to you guys, to everybody. Um, just because it's not mentioned doesn't mean you can't do it. Uh, and I think we get, you guys, as you look at the assignment and you're like, boom, 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 do this, do this, do this. Um, and like some of them, let's see if it says it. I don't even know. Like, like the must-have, like logo, body cover, QR code, to festival date on both poster and flyer. All right, so that's just the requirements, right? So requirements mean from the client, you must include these items. You must include the logo. You must include all the body copy. You must include a QR code, and you must include the festival date. Those are the musts. Beyond that, you can kind of do what you want. And it goes a little bit back, even though I didn't say it, liven this thing up. One, I have a problem with some stuff, but there's the way around it. So I know as some graphic designers aren't maybe as skilled in the arts of illustration or as skilled in the arts of clip art development. I don't want to call it clip art development, but I'm not a huge fan of clip art because here's the downfall of clip art is, one, in the future, if you did that, you have to purchase clip art. And so purchasing clip art is an added cost, which is fine. But then you need to like purchase the clip art and get it perfect and then like only use that clip art. And then you can't, clip art is very hard to change. Like say you wanted to change a color of it or something like that, it's very hard to. So when we just plop in, clip art of something, the other part is it matching what we're doing? Does it look different? Does it look like, oh, I wanted a clip art of some custard, and so I found this one. But then if it's got like a reflection or if it's got something on it, that needs to carry through everything else. So like, I don't know, like I know there's some students going to this clip art site. I don't know what it is because I don't use it. Clip art custard. Let's see it. I mean, of course, this comes up. These are the wrong kind of custards because these are more. Maybe I have to put in frozen custard. Maybe that'll understand it. But this is where I'm going. Like, no, wrong kind. Like, but then it's got like all these have that swirl. And it's not a swirl. It's not soft serve. So you got to dig around. And if you do one, it's got to match. It's got to look like it fits in. Now, the other thing you can do to liven things up, if you're like, oh, there's only 5 things on this poster, I can't think of anything else to do. Imagery. People eating. And you could even, it doesn't have to be frozen custard. You could write in ice cream. Like we're gonna know the difference and just get images. And just like, goofy, fun images of people with custard. There's plenty of sites out there. Oh, look at this cutie. Like perfect. Get that image, throw that in there. Little kid having some fun. Like that's like the perfect shot. Find some of those. People really enjoying eating the treat. That brings life to the poster. And nowhere does it say you can't include images, But if you include images, they should all look like they're like relatively the same. So let me do that. So let's try that. What are those? I used to always put these in Pexels. Pexel free art. I think there's one. I'm going to change it to ice cream though. Just because I know what I'm going to get. I think they're horrible. I mean, that might work. But okay, so if you did this image, you're like, oh, that's like, nice little image. All the images then have to be toned out to look like that. Does that make sense? See how it's like a sepia tone? So if you did images, it should be like they all need to then be sepia tone. It's not a big deal. You can sepia tone any image you want. But, that's what I'm talking about. Wrong kind of stuff, wrong kind of stuff, wrong kind of stuff, wrong kind of stuff. Like you can burn through this, just find out how much. This could be okay, but man, this person looks like they're hating it. Look at that. Must I? Oh, you know what? And that, you know what that is? You can tell by the shape. I don't think that's like a fake one. What do you call those? The ice cream cone you buy at the grocery store. It's like pre-coned. Drumstick. This is a good one. They're eating their custard, good one here. But again, if you did this image with this image, they don't match. You have to like get the images to match. But so what I'm saying, long story short, is feel free. Include some fun people eating ice cream. This guy's eating a carrot. Why is that in here? To liven it up. Look at this. All these kids, like, how fun is that? Oh, yeah, that's so fun. And you can find them. Everybody wants to come. Look at that kid looking at you. So dig around. If you're looking for something to create interest in your piece, use imagery. People are attracted to other people doing stuff. Nowhere in these, and when we started, we're creating a logo. A logo is different. Like we don't want imagery and logo. Imagery and logos does not reproduce well. You want to go small, you want to go big. They want it on Instagram. They want it, like digital and here. So having like a photo there does not work. And I'd be hard pressed nowadays to even find a company that has some sort of photographic logo. The logo is down dirty, needs to be red, needs to be big, small, and just clean and clear. Chillville, frozen custard, like that's it, and it's got an attitude. Then if you want to attract people with imagery, you put it in the poster, you put it in the flyer, you put it in the Instagram ads, you put it, but we won't put it on the next thing I'm going to talk about. It just, imagery doesn't really fit on the tents. But everything else, feel free to add imagery. Now, tent. 10 by 10 foot template. This is what you want. And then this is the image to place in. So you download, and it's a PDF, and you just open it in Illustrator. I have a sandwich board design in InDesign. I went over last class about how simple it is to just like work in between programs and not just be stuck in one and be like, he said only do it in InDesign. No, I said the final one needs to be in InDesign, but at no point did I say you could only use InDesign. Like you use the best of the best, but then that final piece needs to be in that program because there are times when that's needed. One big one about that is like with dealing with multiples. So say you do a poster for a company and you can do everything like 90% in a different program. They're like, we need it in InDesign because what we're going to do is we need to do 50 versions of it. And we're only changing one thing on each page. And so we want it based in InDesign. So we can make that a parent page, and then that parent page, we're just changing one item on 50 pages. And the workflow is much easier than you giving them an Illustrator file, them putting that Illustrator file into what they want. So that's why, like, you have to be cautious about when they say they want it in a certain format, you do it in that format, but you can use any way to get to that format, as long as it isn't super janky. You know, like some weird, you plopped a low res PDF into an InDesign file, like that wouldn't work. So, all right, file, open, downloads. That was enough rigmarole. But that's why, that's why you're learning all these programs and doing everything like that. Ignore the fonts. Zoom out when you open this. Everything's there for you. 5 different pages. It's the tent top. Tent top. These are full walls. All right. And this is a seam. That means that they have to sew this. There's going to be a line. So it may not match top to bottom. So you kind of watch what happens there. This one actually don't need to do. This is for a hex tent. I should take that out. These are half walls. And the half walls are double-sided. Oh, you know, everything's double-sided. Front, back, front, back, front, back. Yeah, don't worry about the hex. Well, that all says hex. I don't know why they call it hex, but half walls. So you're going to be designing a tent. Let's go back to that downloads. And the tent has, you know, we'll start at the top. 4 sides. Easy peasy, you know. 4 sides. 4 sides. And then it's a top. This is a valance here. And this is the top, the peak, the valance, full, back, half wall, half wall. Now, as you'd see on this awesome setup from a company that makes tents, they didn't know what they're doing, and a bunch of stuff is backwards. They didn't Photoshop it right. They didn't place it in right. It's a very easy fix. I don't know why they put this out to the public without being fixed, but you'll in the end drop your information into here. But this is what we want. So we're going to have a back wall, and there's a front and a back, and they should sort of be 2 different images. And then these inside walls, there's going to be a front and a back, and then there's going to be the top. And now we have to think about legibility, the sizing, who this is for. This is 8 foot. A person stands here. This comes up to about 30 inches, the height of a desk. And you think about crowds and people standing around. So let's look at a design I've done. Oh, I'm in the wrong program. Like, wait, why is it missing? This is one I did last semester. I didn't update any of my stuff yet. We have stuff going on here. Tonight is the open house, and there we go. All right, close. Okay, so I'll talk you through my system, the way I do this. This is the top. You can see it's like the 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm looking for clean, clear, loud, visible, right? As big as you can get without going past things, without making it harder to read than it is. So for this, it's just, I set up that waffle cone idea that I had, and I put it exactly in the center. And so it somewhat has a rhythm playing out, but like each peak starts the same. They won't match up on this corner, which isn't very important, but that's okay. But very clear, Scoop, MKE, and then Frozen Custard Festival. I want it clear and easy to read, because like, look, you know, this is at a little bit of an angle, but then here it'll be nice and big. Like to me, this little soft drink is too small. All this real estate is here to be used. So you're going to have to learn to like, how do I take apart maybe my logo? How do I adjust it to get, you know, this part in with this? And the top can be different, but I generally, when I do that, I'll pair it and just only like change colors. So like maybe two sides would be dark green and two sides would be red. Creates a mild bit of more interest. I wouldn't do every side as different because you never know, you know, like when you set it up, it's got to be facing a direction, and then there is kind of a front and the back. And if you do something that's like, they have to really always pay attention to how they set it up. It's not as easy when you're putting up this tent, and then you got to shift it, move it. And you want it, you know, big and bold, like nothing else is up here. It's just the logo, and that's all we need. We want people to see this, you know, when we're walking down the street from a mile away. The bigger, the better, without going past some, you know, areas. Like don't have it be touching that red. Give yourself space. Everything. See, even on these, I'm staying away from that red line. I'm giving myself my own margin. Nice and big. All right. So that's the top. Then we get to the wall, front and the back. So the front is different from the back. So on the back, I put that logo as big as possible. That's facing out. That's probably going to be facing something dumb or like a different street. That is the back of the tent. People will be like walking by it, but they can't see in. So you might as well show this as big as possible and like have that just be a giant banner. You know what I mean? Like as big as possible. So if we look in here, that's the reverse side. That's somebody's walking over here looking this way. So they see the reverse side. Now, the reason I did this on the inside or the front is because people are going to be standing. And there's going to be maybe a table in here. We don't know what's going to be blocking. So if we have stuff too low, it gets blocked by legs and feet and nobody sees it. So I raised my logo up. So when somebody's walking up, Okay, let's do it. Give me 1 second. Let's do this. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Well, I'll just do this. That's too tall. Give me 1 second. As I talk, I'm just going to try to create a person, but I got to see my sizing here. It's very small in comparison. Calculator. So this is, I do this kind of stuff. I should just show you exactly what I'm doing. I want to find out 82 inches is how many feet. So get my calculator out. 82 divided by 12 equals 6.8 feet. Average person, we'll put them just under 5 feet. So I want, if we estimate, and I make 7 boxes, that'll be 7 feet. And I just want it to come just above. So I'm not kidding you. I do this all the time to get referenced. What the heck? Oh, my computer's really stalling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Delete this last one. Grab all of these. Pull them up. So it's higher. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a little bit too tall. This would be the height of a person. So you just do this. And you can do this. And we do this. Good enough. whatever. That's a person, you know, like that's the height of a person walking by. So their eyesight, you know, is only so much, like, so we want to keep everything higher on this side because they're going to be closer and then other people are going to be blocking it. So, you know, we want it big and bold. Here on this back side, you know, when you're walking by, it can be really big. Here, people might be standing in front and we want a better eye line to the whole logo. So that's why I did what I did there. And you can include other stuff, you know, like I have this background. I kept mine simple because the people are there and they're going to see other stuff, but you can include other stuff. Just a blank one. And then I did blanks for half walls. And then here's the half walls. Oh, where did I put my dude? Half walls. On the inside, which I'm calling right half side wall, left side, the back of it, that's the stuff that's inside. So that's what you really, you wouldn't see it from the outside. That's right here, okay? I don't need graphics there, mostly because I don't think anybody's gonna see it. The graphics here are gonna be covered up. People hopefully be coming in, or a lot of times there's a table right in front, so nobody sees that. So what we're gonna do on one side is just carry through with that graphic. Now on the other side, we can play around. And like here, I was playing around with sizing. So if my logo only fits such a size, you can do a bunch of different things, but don't do it like I'd say ad nauseum. Meaning like, so say you're like, oh yeah, this is what I don't want you to do. I'll show it for the Valens. Do not. I don't know. See, I'm going to show it and I say do not, and then somebody's going to do it. I'll be like, I said it in the lecture. So if I do this, do not, just do this. That's too much. Like, oh, that's like, do not do that. Do not just be like, well, my logo doesn't, like, you might need to like kind of deconstruct the logo to get it to fit. And then, but for here, you know, I would maybe do 2, you know, and then maybe do something in the middle, you know, like not 3, I wouldn't do 3. It's just too much again. Like just that repeating, like, when people do that, you're just like, just repeat it as many times as possible. Well, how about I just put it on there twice and put something really nice in the middle, like a scoop of ice cream or something else that I have that I can bring in, you know, like I can bring it in. Or here, I just kind of like took this lower part and put it over here. So it's too big. But this is that billboard. Like this is working big and bold and making it so people can see it from far away. Excuse me. If you start adding like too much detail, it gets lost. People won't know what to look like. But if you keep it nice, clean, simple, real big and bold, people are going to see what's going on and, you know, see it from a mile away. We want them to see it from a mile away. That's the big thing that's going on here when we work on tents. So that's the big new one. I'll go over some other tent topics on Tuesday. Directional sandwich boards, die cut sticker, and t-shirt. So these are all standards. They're all things that happen. We're not doing social media this time because we're doing the tent. I have an idea for social media for the next one. Yeah, let's just start like kind of putting things together, using what we've built so far, and then now developing it further and further for all the parts. Again, don't add anything new to the tent just because it's a new piece. We are not adding anything new. If you add something to the tent that's not on the flyer, that's not on the poster, you have to go back and put that stuff on there. I would say you can remove, not add. So like not every piece, like of course we're not putting the body copy and the bullet points on the tent. That's ridiculous. But if you have imagery, you may be like, oh, I do want this image of this girl eating ice cream on the tent. We can do that these days. It works. It's pretty nice, but then you have to be like, is it too busy? But people there will already be eating the custard. So do they need to see people eating custard when they're there? But the reason why it's on the flyer and the poster is because they're not there, and we want to, show them imagery of people doing what they would do there. So there's a lot of like psychological stuff that goes into this whole process, and everything that goes on with that. So I think that's my tent talk. Get it? TED Talk, tent talk for today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me. If you have problems with the files, let me know. I'm here. I can work with them. I can, send me that stuff. Midweek reviews are so awesome. I can get in there and be like, oh, change this, do this. Let me see what you're working on, and let me be the art director for you, help you clean things up. So any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, excellent. I will see you on the discussion boards and have more to talk about tent and other design next week, Tuesday. All right, take care. I'll talk to you then. All right, bye-bye.